This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hi, I'm Millie Tamaris.
And I'm Elise Morales.
And this is
Go Touch Grass,
the podcast where we log in.
You can log off.
Elise and I are two chronically online comedians, and on this pod, we break down the week in internet discourse, viral memes, TikTok trends, and niche influencer drama so that you can literally do anything else with your time.
Literally anything else. And guys, you know, if you like this podcast and you want to hear more, we've got to Go Touch Grass Patreon with tons more content weekly. Ass on the Patreon. No, actually, it's mostly like access to our Discord community.
Yeah.
I just did an episode on the rise and fall of Vine.
Yeah, it was very. We got into some comedy theory there. We got into how every Vine star was canceled. Canceled quotes.
But they're back. And they're fine, and they're doing fine on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube.
We have a YouTube, guys. Please follow us. I think we're going to announce a YouTube campaign pretty soon, but we're there. You can catch our new episodes, full-length video episodes on YouTube every Saturday. Audio episodes are on YouTube and everywhere you get your podcast on Wednesday.
Yeah, and reminder that the YouTube, that's like the extended cut. You're going to see behind-the-scenes moments. You know, there are some moments in the last episode that didn't translate to audio.
I needed to show. Yeah, I needed to show people. Because I'm the video editor, so I needed to show people what the Travis Kelce black girlfriend effect and then white girlfriend glow down looked like. You know, because again, he did look #white chocolate, and now he looks like a sheriff. So please go on our YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review, guys. We love reviews. We want them. But the best review is for you to tell your friends.
People you like the podcast. Post a story about it. We'll repost it. We're always online.
Tell your friends, you know what? In these trying times, in these reprecedented times, not unprecedented, reprecedented times.
Quite precedented.
You want to support 2 mentally ill Hispanic women. Mm-hmm. So that please like share, subscribe, whatever. But guys, we have a guest today.
We have a guest today.
The guest is helping us branch out, not just in the internet comedy thing, but also into the sports arena.
Wow.
Our guest today is Emmy-winning sports television personality, writer, and director, and new friend of the pod. It's Katie Nolan.
Woo!
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's very exciting.
We are so happy to have you.
Yeah,
happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us on this auspicious day. For anyone who wants to know, we're recording on Monday,
Martin Luther King Jr. Day,
and that's the only
thing that's happening.
That's the only day it is. So.
Katie.
Yeah.
You are someone who's had an impressive long career in sports and sports broadcasting. My question for you is, how do you think social media and the internet factors into the way people consume, cover, and play sports nowadays?
Oh my. I mean, it changed it completely.
Yeah, talk to us.
It's like, now you know the athletes before you see them, like a lot of them have been on social media. First place you would notice that was when a player would get drafted, and you could now dig up their old tweets. Like that was kind of, we had an era of like, old tweets are going to get a kid bumped down in his draft. So it's changed it in that way. Covering it completely has changed it. You know, it's putting a camera and access to the world in the hands of the fan, basically.
Yeah.
So you can see it from a million different angles. Anytime there's like a game-winning shot, they'll like the next day post all the social media of like the angles of it, and everything about it has changed from social media. It's also like, you know, making sports TV a lot harder because of highlights and the way that that's where people used to go to watch highlights. You would turn on SportsCenter, you would turn on ESPN, and now you can get it on your phone. So you don't really need to go to the TV. So, I mean, it has fully changed it.
I feel like, not to bring him up again, but I feel like the opposite of your old tweets getting dug up and like becoming canceled was when all of Travis Kelce's tweets came out, and it was just him being like, I saw a squirrel.
But squirrel was not. But it was not spelled at all. You had to figure it out by the context clues.
When I went to the Eras tour this summer, which I did do in Poland.
In Poland, yes, that's a big lore. Sorry, she has to tell everyone.
I did go to the Eras tour in Poland.
On purpose?
On purpose.
Yes.
And it
wasn't like you were trying to get them in like Poland, New Jersey, but you accidentally.
I was trying to get them where they were the cheapest. It was great. It was great again. Highly recommend Poland. But my friendship bracelet that I made, me and my friends set aside 3 hours to like make friendship bracelets.
That's a part of that's a part of the Taylor Swift.
Yeah. We all know, right? We all have to know. It's like now cultural lore that we all have to know.
For any listeners who
who maybe don't.
If you're incredibly online and you don't know that Taylor Swift's fans make bracelets
and give away friendship bracelets.
But that's
you're lying. You're not actually online at all. Actually,
well, the premise of the podcast
you're right. Fair.
Who aren't online and they don't know.
Some people might not know, but anyway, so
Elise was in Poland.
My dear friend,
Krakow.
we sent Warsaw first.
Warsaw, sorry.
How dare you?
We set aside 3 hours to make friendship bracelets. Turns out it's actually really hard to make friendship bracelets, and I had acrylics, so it was extremely hard to make friendship bracelets.
How? Oppression.
So we made maximum 3 each, and one of mine said squirrel spelled the Travis Kelce way. That was my beautiful homage to Travis.
And you know what? God bless us. Like, listen, if we're gonna live through the next 4 years, I want a husband that has CTE. You know what I'm saying? Or a boyfriend. Sorry.
Well, the sad end of I think you don't want.
No. I listen to the Aaron
right now when they're cute and young and silly and they say dumb things is great.
I've listened to all the Aaron Hernandez docs.
Yeah, it tapers off and becomes a lot less fun.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun. We really need
at the
better
end.
helmets.
No, absolutely.
And they're trying. And let's give them time.
Well, it's also like anytime that there is a better helmet, like people are like, that's gay. I'm like,
well, I mean,
it's gay to have brain function?
Okay, that Guardian cap is ugly. And
we gotta have fashion.
And I think it doesn't. I don't think it's worth. I'm gonna get my podcast canceled before it even
starts. Yeah. Well,
speaking of, you are here to promote your podcast. You are entering the podcast.
We're on podcast.
Listen, guys, I was here. I've been here. I took a lot of time off. It was really nice.
Yeah.
It was. And I recommend it. And I know there's a reason other people aren't doing it, but if you've got the means to, I wish more people just would go away, take some time off, read books, watch stuff, figure out if you're living life the way you want to, and then come back and launch a podcast on January 21st, 2025.
The day before this episode comes out. So if you're listening to this episode, you can listen to Casuals with Katie Nolan
first
now.
episode. Lucky you.
First episode.
I wish I could listen to it now.
So what's your podcast about?
Yeah, okay, what are you bringing to the space?
I've been in sports for a long time. I started out as I was making YouTube videos, and then I went and did a blog, and then I did and then I went to this network, Fox Sports 1, and I did like sports comedy stuff over there, and I felt like after all that time in there just wasn't like a lot of content that was being made to bring people in and be like, hey, it's not for just the people that are here already. Like, it can be interesting to you too. Like, it doesn't have to be stats and numbers. It can be, and it should be, because that's how some people like it. But like, I know my own existence proves the fact that there are people who are interested in it that don't really care about the homework part of it and more just want the like sport of it, the live of it.
Or even get intimidated by that part of it, and maybe like eventually would get into like, oh, I'm gonna learn more about the stats and stuff. But if you're someone who's like just trying to follow a particular team or whatever, I know personally, we say all the time, this is not a math podcast, and it's not. And I personally can
when we have to read long numbers,
when we have to read long numbers, it's hard. Reading a long number is really hard. People don't talk about the difficulty.
The commas trip you up in a way you think they would help. Sometimes they can hurt.
My brain just goes like, wow.
When
I look at a long number.
And I think that too, there's like a rise. I mean, I don't know if you do this on your podcast, but for me, I'm like, I want to know the drama of like who's feuding and what, but I actually don't care about like whatever the shots being made, but I do want to know that Draymond Green punched someone.
Yes.
Or like what
which he probably did between when you said that and when this came out.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, we need like
accessible, something accessible that's like that's truly entertaining first. It's like it's just entertainment about sports, because a lot of like entertainment podcasts I like don't touch sports because they're like, well, it's its own thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say that like in times, sometimes it does feel intimidating because it's like I'm like, well, I don't know all the intricacies of how this is played, and maybe I don't have the right knowledge to comment on this or whatever.
Right. It's also
that feeling, by the way, never goes away. You can know as much as you want, proof positive, and you'll still have like someone's going to tear me apart for not knowing what I'm saying.
Well, that's just being a woman podcaster in general.
Sure,
but also I will say that it's probably also a little bit of the community and the fan base too, like who are doing that. And I'm not saying this is exclusive to sports. I'm sure that it's like crazy with sports. Love to hear about your experience with that. But also like, even like I've got into Star Wars in the past like 2 years.
Yeah.
And like, there's, there was a series this last year that came out in 2024. And I liked it. It was fun. Like, I feel like with their series and their TV shows, like, they're trying to bring new people in.
Yeah.
And then the chorus and the thing of the people were like, I missed this. The movie from the 70s was the best one. And I'm like, oh, my God. Yeah. Like, you're not making a safe space for people who are new and might want to interact with, like...
And, like, no one's coming for your thing.
Yeah.
You have your thing and do it your way.
Yeah.
Would it be cool if I just over here do it my way?
Yeah.
Because there's people that like it this way.
Yeah.
And like we can all, the beauty of the world now, and there's not a lot of it, but one of the things is like everyone can kind of find what they want. And so this is a thing I want to exist. And so it got me off my ass and off my phone, and I'm going to make a podcast.
Wow. Okay. I feel like that segues really into our first update.
Yeah.
Today.
So we have a segment called Software Update where we update our users. I don't know how to like this.
I thought that was like the segment music. That was perfectly timed.
That was beautiful.
I like don't know how to silence notifications.
No, sometimes
my watch.
No, this is a thing, and this is a real thing, and we need to talk about it. Is that sometimes your Apple Watch will decide that sounds are back on.
Yeah.
In a way where I'm like, I never in my life have I wanted this watch to make one single sound.
Yeah.
You all got Apple Watches and nobody told me. Everybody got an Apple Watch and I don't remember anyone saying they got it, but I just remember it being on everyone's wrist, not me.
No, well, guess what? First of all, I have to set the record straight. It's a Samsung watch. I'm a Samsung girly. I may or may not be contractually obligated to not say anything negative about Android for the next 4 months. But also,
congratulations.
But also, I am a hardcore, true Samsung Android fan.
That is true.
That is the lore of the thing. So this was, and for me, it was kind of like, I just feel like this is like a deeper conversation that we
put a
won't
pin
have
in
time.
this
Put a pin in.
discourse.
But I feel like as a fat person, you have to like constantly like be like, but no, I'm active. Like I'm doing shit. And for me, like I was like, I know I'm walking a lot every day with my dog, and I know I'm doing shit. And it was a step counter.
It's like proof.
So I'm like, listen, bitch, no matter what, off rip, whether I go to an exercise class or not, I'm walking 3 miles.
Check the numbers. Don't talk to me. I got the numbers. Don't talk to me ever again. That's right.
I do love the pedometer.
The pedometer is really it.
And I use it to track my like workouts too, but I'll be in yoga class, and there have been like 2 times where I guess like the watch updated overnight. Something happened where it has decided it will make noise again, which I never wanted to do.
Social nightmare.
In a dead silent yoga class.
Oh God.
Exercise ring closed.
No.
And now and everyone knows it's me. And now I'm like fiddling with the watch, trying to like get it to make sure it doesn't do that again.
Would you rather fart in class or have your watch
fart? Because fart, you don't know if that's actually someone, because I'm in a hot yoga class and you're like sweaty.
Oh God,
back.
fart is like should be illegal in a hot yoga class.
But sometimes your like sweaty back makes like suctiony
like
sound, and so you actually you have
yeah.
plausible deniability with fart at any time. It could be a suction sound, unless it's a stinker, and then people are gonna figure it out. But exercise ring closed, horrible. Horrible.
I feel like the tights I wear to yoga are so tight that the fart will stay. It's like Dutch ovening my.
Oh, it's like on your skin.
On
the
my
fart
skin.
is staying
Oh my
around
God.
you. Like
And then when you take the pants off later and it comes out, and you're like, that's old fart. That's old fart.
Oh my God, no, not old fart.
God.
Old fart.
Okay.
I mean,
Hot yoga fart.
Speaking of old fart.
Speaking of an old fart.
Okay,
right?
so let's
transition
do
again.
software update. So this is the segment where we update our listeners on things that we have discussed in the past. So, and our Patreon this week was on the rise and fall of Vine.
Yeah.
Speaking of the rise and fall of the app, TikTok stopped working for U.S. users late on Saturday before a law shutting it down on national security grounds took effect on Sunday.
Yep.
U.S. officials had said that under Chinese parent company ByteDance, there was a risk of Americans' data being misused. Other apps owned by ByteDance included video editing app CapCut. Sorry,
R.I.P.
That was
R.I.P. Terrible time to launch a podcast. No CapCut.
No CapCut. I was
Video Leap is a good comp. Was what we heard, and it's true.
Okay.
Lifestyle social app Lemonade were also offline and unavailable in the U.S. app stores as of late Saturday. The statement that you would get if you were in the U.S., you would get a statement that said, important update from TikTok. We regret that a U.S. law banning TikTok will take effect on January 19th and force us to make our services temporarily unavailable. We're working to restore our service in the U.S. as soon as possible. We appreciate your support. Please stay tuned. And then another one that said, sorry, TikTok. Then it changed to, sorry, TikTok isn't available now. And then the second part was, we are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned.
When the message changed, that's when I was like, it's about to get wild. I was like,
when the words on the most expensive billboard on earth change.
Yeah,
to
like call out a particular politician, I was like, oh, ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh indeed. So TikTok issued an earlier statement again. And then, that's what they said. In agreement with our service providers, TikTok is in the process of restoring service. TikTok said in an earlier statement, thank Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties for providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans and allowing 7 million small businesses to thrive.
Yeah. Didn't matter to you a minute ago.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like, that's what is the creepy part of all of this is like for it to go down for such a short period of time, then come back. Last week's episode, we did like a whole background on the ban and why they said it was and whatever and all of that stuff. But it's like, for this to be the ultimate way that it went down, like it goes down for 12 hours for 14, I think.
But it went down for 12 hours before we thought it was going to. I think people were prepared for it to go away at like midnight.
And then it went away. And I spent all my Saturday downloading things. I do want to read the information first and then whatever. So TikTok's public thanks to Trump the day before he takes office comes at a tense moment in U.S.-China relations because Trump has said that he wants to place tariffs on China. And he indicated that he hopes to have more direct contact with China's leader. When asked about the app's restoration, Trump's desire for a deal with Chinese foreign ministry told a regular news briefing that, quote, companies should decide, quote, independently about their operations and deals. So before it was like the company needs to be owned by 100% by a U.S. national. Then Trump now is saying, he went on Truth Social and said, I would like the United States to have a 50% ownership position in a joint venture, which is different. So suitors, including former sports warning, including sports warning, sports is going to come up, including former Los Angeles Dodgers owner Frank McCourt have expressed interest in the fast-growing business that analysts estimate could be worth as much as $50 billion. Media reports say Beijing has also held talks about selling TikTok's U.S. operations to billionaire and Trump ally Elon Musk, though the company has denied that. Trump saving TikTok represents a reversal in his stance from his first term in office in 2020.
He punched me in the face and then took me to the hospital and was like, say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Literally exactly
And that's what we got to keep people in mind. In 2020, Trump aimed to ban the app over concerns that the company was sharing Americans' personal info with the Chinese government. More recently, Trump has said he has, quote, a soft, warm spot in my heart for TikTok, crediting the app with helping him win over young voters in the 2024 presidential election. This is my statement. People are getting on TikTok's ass because they praise Trump. This is me saying they praise Trump. TikTok praised Trump. And, whether or not you believe TikTok is owned by the Chinese government, every company based in China has to at least publicly kiss the ass of the leader. And I'm sure the shit that TikTok is saying about Trump is also shit they've said about Xi Jinping, who is so sensitive that one time he was compared. This is a real thing that happened. Look it up. Xi Jinping. They have called him, he looks like Winnie the Pooh. There was a picture of him and Obama walking, and they did a side by side of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. So Xi Jinping is so sensitive about that he's banned Winnie the Pooh from being
Winnie the Pooh.
And in 2018, there was that Christopher Robin movie, illegal in China.
Well, because he's corrupting the minds of our youth.
Well, yeah. Okay, are we?
He loves honey. What's up with that?
Because there were those 2 messages, but then there was the welcome back one. Are we reading that one too?
You can read the welcome
They're all bad and they all suck.
Because I feel like the welcome back one is the one that creeped me out the most. It's welcome back. Thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the U.S. with an exclamation point. And you can continue to create, share, and discover all the things you love on TikTok. And that was like shiver down my spine because I'm just like, it's so wild to me for all of this to have nominally been about like propaganda. And then when it comes back, the first message is the most
We love Trump. Woo. What
thank you, President Trump.
Why, thank you.
But I'm like, that is totally in line with what they want to do. That is what Trump wants. That's all Trump wants. And also, he has said, for all the shit that he says about China, he has said that he really admires Xi Jinping's ruling style and all that shit. And I'm just saying, if you want to know anything about Xi Jinping and how he operates, I would recommend a 3-part podcast by the Wall Street Journal called Missing Minister. It's very good. They're really sloppy. The Chinese government do not. So I'm just saying, like, people are like, how dare TikTok? And I'm like, they know how to kiss ass. Any Chinese company knows how to kiss ass to keep operation because they're used to a baby skin thick, thin skin leader.
It's just funny that because like I said, last week's episode, we were talking about the ban. Every time we've talked about the ban, I've been like, I don't think TikTok should be banned. And I still don't think TikTok should be banned. But it was so funny for them to immediately come back with the creepiest message where I'm like, oh, no, but not like that.
Yeah,
like, I don't want you to come back with this.
No.
Like, that's scary.
They're back with this.
And they are.
My understanding of it, which is often wrong, is that Trump is going to give it a 90-day whatever. Yeah. But he wasn't in office yet. And so they were basically, as with most things, it came down to money, where the companies that do the part of TikTok that we don't understand or care about were like how that video goes from your phone to my phone, wherever I am. Those companies were going to be hit with fines if they continued to host TikTok.
Yeah.
And so Trump being like, I'm going to delay it 90 days, they were like, well, it's not going to be delayed for a full day. And if that many users are accessing it as much as they are and downloading as much as they are because they think it's going away, the whole thing's going to cost us a lot of money.
Yeah, I think
so they preemptively shut it down to be like, I'm not paying a dime. Then they got Trump's word that was like, you have my word. And they were like, okay, we'll put the servers back up. I don't know that it's going to be up forever.
Well, what I've heard is because I know people who like just immediately deleted the app and it's not back in the app store yet.
You can't download
but
it.
Like you can, if you didn't delete it, you can I was actually
about the people who deleted it, like
I know
out of anger or like get this out of my, or because they needed to, they were going to go nuts.
Yeah. Well, people also have noticed. Well, you can't do TikTok Live yet either. Like TikTok Live is not back. You can't discover
Which I'm fine with, right?
But that was one of the best money making things.
Yeah, for the people who make money
you're right.
on it,
I was only thinking of it from the
personally. I don't.
Yes,
whatever. But like for example, we're not gonna get into it on this podcast, but like Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt, those are 2 people who like have always kind of been in the zeitgeist and had a recent resurgence. Their home did get lost in the fire, and they were saying like Spencer's been posting a lot, and it's actually been really cool to see. but he said that he's made like $4,000 on like TikTok residuals, but on like one live they were able to get $20,000. Like
lives are like where you make really big money on TikTok, I think.
So, I mean, that makes sense because it's like otherwise I, as a person who doesn't engage with that part of it, was always like, what is the point of this? But if
you can make more, like TikTok incentivizes you and you can get money directly from your fans.
Yeah.
And then like that's the ones that the people who do NPC stuff of like anytime they get like a certain $5 gift, they'll do one thing and they'll repeat a thing. Anyway, people are noting, so there was that like press conference or that Senate hearing with the thing that prompted the ban, where Shu, who's the CEO of TikTok, who's Singaporean, kept getting accused of being a Chinese communist, and he's like, I'm from Singapore.
Oh my God,
he has been
so embarrassing.
It's such an
but he's
but
going
you know
to
what?
the
Let's get rid of the Department of Education. I don't think we need it.
Yeah, no, we don't need it.
No more.
No.
But
you're telling me Singapore's not China? Is that what you're saying?
But he's going to the inauguration, and people are pissed because he retweeted or he reposted a Charlie Kirk post. So it's like TikTok is not.
I'm gonna jump off a bridge.
I know. Yeah. Well, it's just like, okay,
they're closing up to the right wing, but then they're getting what they want. So then that's like,
I mean, I think that there's just gonna be some kind of like fake nominal deal. They're gonna find some way to make it look like the ban was the stipulations of the ban were met without anyone having to actually do anything, and then Trump gets to be like, I saved TikTok, even though this was all his idea. He got you said it, like the most expensive billboard ad in the world to just immediately 170 million people. It's sticky.
It's sticky, but I feel like people are seeing through. A lot of people are seeing through things. Let's hope. And people, are saying what I've heard is like the resurgence of stay woke. Like woke now is like completely lost its meaning, but the original meaning of woke is like pay attention to what's happening
around you
and like know the deeper meaning.
Yeah, eyes open.
The world didn't start today.
No,
remember
exactly.
what happened last time.
Yeah, so
I mean, we exist in the context of all that.
Oh my God.
Not to bring it up today.
Not
to bring it up today. Not to do coconut today, but
speaking of like keep your eyes open and stuff, one of the things that was happening when we did think that TikTok was going to go away in America for a long time.
Are we doing influencers confessing? Is that
yes.
what you're doing? Oh my God, thank God.
So to step away from the political for a second.
Thank God.
One of the trends.
For an hour if we could.
Yeah. One of the trends. I mean, this is a mini discourse. We're going to go to a larger discourse later. Okay. But this is just something that I saw again. One of the trends that was happening in the last few hours of TikTok was TikTok famous influencers confessing the truth behind the content. And it pissed a lot of people off. So to talk about it, I'm going to feature a video from Jayan Rego, who posted this. So we're going to watch the video and then we're going to discuss it.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
I probably spent 10 to 15 minutes this morning scrolling through all the influencer confessions, and to say that I'm like shocked and disgusted is actually such an understatement. I feel like out of all people, those who like work in social media and who are influencers should be the most careful with what they post, so I do not understand why some of them chose to partake in this trend. Like, I get it, some of the confessions are like so funny, like hee hee haha, whatever, but like some of the confessions are actually like really damaging to their social presence. I've seen fitness influencers confess that all the workouts that they like put out there are actually fake and that they have a BBL. I've seen makeup influencers lie about how much product they use just to get views. I've even seen cooking influencers lie and say that the food that they were pretending to make, they actually just bought. Does no one else see a problem with this? And with the TikTok ban coming up, they're all saying, oh, like, go follow my Instagram, go follow my whatever, as if they didn't just confess to something that could literally ruin their entire career. And what about in the off chance that TikTok doesn't get banned or like it comes back? All of these people are going to have footage of lying about whatever they confess to on the internet forever. So as the average viewer, do they really think that A, I'm gonna go support them on another platform, and B, trust them ever again? And what makes it worse is that you have a ton of other smaller creators who are trying to like give you honest feedback and create honest content. In general, they have like really genuine intentions for trying to like help people out. For years, they've been overshadowed and literally like shunned out by all of the bigger creators in the area who are not even telling the truth. I know so many other small creators who put so much time into their content and make genuine, like, honest content. They will tell you if they don't like a makeup product. They will tell you if a workout plan didn't work for them. So as of right now, I view those creators as far more trustworthy than any of these, like, huge influencers. But, like, life goes on. Who knows what's gonna happen for them next? I mean, they chose to confess what they chose to confess. I, for one, am curious to see how it'll affect them long term.
Shout out that girl.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very succinct explanation, but also it is wild to me because I felt like I definitely thought TikTok was gonna go down for some amount of time, but I also always felt like it was gonna come back.
Yeah.
And it was never clear to me if like your profile was gonna stay, because people's profiles actually stayed up for the 12 hours, which I saw another interesting TikTok where someone was like, that is actually messed up to like leave someone's stuff up, but they're not able to access it themselves.
Yeah.
Like that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But either way, that is just a wild risk to take when it's like, you don't know, well, like she said, you're trying to get people to follow you somewhere else. You don't know if this app is staying down or going down or whatever. And you don't know if this video is staying up.
Yeah, so some of it was like this girl who makes specialty ice. She's like, I never used any of the ice. But then other
Eyes or
Piss
ice?
Me.
Oh,
off.
talk to me.
The ice lady. Okay, because
I don't know her. That's not in my purview. So
it's not. She's not. I don't know her.
I mean,
I
no,
know
not that you
of.
know her,
No.
but, like-
I'm clarifying for my own heart and conscience. I know of the. I've scrolled past the concept of like I have an ice fridge where they buy these specific like little ice casts. Sometimes they're like small ball ice, and sometimes because everybody knows if you really get down to it, there's reasons for different types of ice.
Yeah.
But nobody has all types of ice
Yeah,
on
she's an
hand
ice girl.
all the time. And this lady was like getting
Has
these
800,000 followers or something.
she
like that.
got like tons of ice. It was very aesthetic. And it was like she would put like, oh, this one's cucumber with a little bit of lime juice, and I freeze this, and this goes in. These ones are shaped like this because they go in a water bottle. And it was
Yeah.
like she had all this stuff that made you feel like this is how a person is living.
Mm-hmm.
And then she basically was like, I never used any of the ice.
What?
I just
She said
use
she never
regular
used the
ice. She's like, oh, and then her defense video, she was like, oh, people in my life use it. Like sometimes my kids will use it, or like
Is she giving
my
ice
mom-
to people?
And you're like, so people will come to your house and use your ice, but you're just wasting. Like no part of her felt like I'm wasting a lot of like fruit and juice. First of all, at a time when like I don't know, it just seemed very wasteful and unnecessary. And then also like I'm selling people this idea of a lifestyle that I don't even live.
I mean,
because it's
that's like half of social
impractical.
media.
I'm
So
pretty
that's, like,
sure.
we've talked about that too with the sisters that like lie. The sisters that like had all their shit was fake from DHgate, and there was this other girl who did like Target hauls, but she just like would steal them.
Yeah,
like, she
it's,
got-
I mean,
I mean, that is a haul.
that it is a haul. Actually, that's actually the
It's
definition
actually,
of a haul.
I actually respect that more.
She hauled ass out of the
She did.
Target
She
with
had
all that
to.
stuff. One thing that I do want to say, just because I didn't realize that this ice person existed, is that I think making ice is one of Borat's stated jobs. Like I think in Borat he says, "I make ice."
Mm.
I think he also says that his job is to jerk off horses, but one of his jobs is to.
Well,
make
I was
That was actually this lady's other channel.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
I don't know
she
if
wasn't
that's
really
a whole
jerking
part
them
of
off.
TikTok.
that's really
I'm
funny.
not really
She
jerking
wasn't
off
even
the
really doing it.
When I went on like a cruise through I mean, this is like annoying, but I went on a cruise through the Mediterranean. Elise did too.
I did.
So and December
I didn't say anything.
Wow, canceled both of you.
Yeah, cancel. Well, I went to a
Cruise
cruise.
culture.
So one of the last stops was Ibiza, and by then, like me and my friends, I don't know, we just wanted to like listen to reggaeton, like Latin music, and like have fun in like a lower key environment. We didn't want to pay $200 entrance fee and $35 for drinks. So we found this random bar like deep off the strip that's like I think where all the like workers go of Ibiza,
Mhm.
and they're all from Latin America in different parts. So we were like dancing with these Cuban guys. And I was just, I wanted to know, like, because this seemed like where I'm like, so what do you like do here? Like, what are you going, like, you guys came straight from Cuba? And the guy's like, yeah, I work in ice. We work in ice.
I
We
make
work in
ice.
I make ice. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I like Googled it, and it was like, oh, Ibiza's like one of the #1 exports of ice through all Europe and all this
That's,
stuff.
I'll
I'm
never
like,
understand what
I
that
thought
means.
that
Yeah.
everyone had
Well,
access.
What are you
whatever.
exporting ice for? And why
Because
isn't anyone
Europe
sending
don't
any
like
of it to
ice like that.
France? Like, just send what? Why don't
They don't like ice like that. They
That
need
is true.
special places.
That
They
is
don't
true.
like
Europe
ice.
don't like ice.
Europe
like
What's
that.
does
up?
not fuck with ice the
What's
same way
up?
America does.
Why?
Because they're fucked up. And another thing I was,
Because
they're all
they're
fucked
fucked
up.
up.
No, another thing that I was gonna say was on top of the confessions. Another thing that happened was that people were celebrating that Americans were gone, and
It
this
was
one
very
girl
funny.
was like,
It was
she's
very
like, yeah,
funny.
they're all gone, and then everyone came back, and she's like, ah.
I
was very
expected that. I was like, they're gonna have a little fun without us.
They were
for
like,
the
we can
time."
finally talk in kilograms.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
They were also
Fuck
like,
you. Talking ounces, bitch.
I know, well, again, and like Fahrenheit makes more sense.
It makes no
Sorry.
sense. Sorry.
100
That's
is hot. Is the
funny
hottest
because
hot.
We're like we were raised in it. You
No,
know what I
that's
mean?
true. But I just feel like 100 as
100
being
is the
hot
hottest
and
hot.
0 as being cold makes the most
Makes
sense
sense.
to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want anybody in the comments to be like, well, actually, it's based off. I don't
It
give a
doesn't
fuck what
matter.
it's based off. What I'm saying is, it
Stop
makes
trying
more
to
sense
educate me. Let
for
me be
100
what I
to be
am.
hot and 0 to be cold.
But if you're one of our listeners from New Zealand or
And we
England,
do love you, and we
you.
respect all of your
You wanna go
temperatures.
visit
They
and-
talk about you
one
guys behind
day.
your back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I did expect that because I did think it was funny. I saw some that were like, now we can really talk shit about Americans. I'm like, you've been talking shit
Yeah,
about us.
girl,
You
please.
always talk shit about us.
Yeah.
You guys are so mean
Or
to
you
us.
could talk about something else.
Yeah.
But
No,
you
no,
couldn't
we
possibly
we
not.
deserve
They're on
some
everybody's
of it.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we deserve some of it.
Obsessed with that.
So yeah, that's basically the software update about TikTok.
Crazy software.
Watch
Crazy.
this space.
Crazy.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, wait, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Because one of the people that confessed to doing it and lying was a fitness influencer.
Mhm.
She was like, I faked my workouts because it was getting in the way of doing the workout. So I would go do the workout somewhere else. I would do the workout at my gym, and then I would go film myself doing the workout somewhere else. And I was like, honey, that's not faking. You did 2-a-days.
Yeah, no, I'm like, that's not fake.
Yeah, that's like chefs when they make like Martha Stewart, if she wants to show the completed dish, but then she also wants to show the progress.
Sure, yeah.
Like,
It's like you.
we're
yeah,
not
so
gonna watch you chill overnight, bitch.
But I knew you did it. Like
Yeah.
she
As long
Okay,
as
twice.
yeah.
And but then it's also like, well, the lie then was kind of like that you said that body came from doing that workout once. And you
yeah,
did it,
that is
you were
true. That
doing
is
it
like you're
twice
actually
a
doing
day.
this shit twice a day.
Obviously your ass defies gravity, whereas mine does not.
I don't know. I'm just like, to me, I'm like, actually, I believe that you're actually doing this, and because you're dumb, and like that is exactly what I want from a fitness influencer, is someone who's just about gains.
My also feeling is, I guess for me, when I watch a fitness influencer, I assume that there's a ton of other stuff they're doing that's different than the workout that like I don't understand. But yeah, I don't think that she should have framed it as a lie. I feel like you did a dramatic recreation.
I'd be
Yeah.
like, now that we're getting stuff off our chest, oh my God, I've been doing every workout twice. But
Yeah,
I have to film it.
exactly, and I'm
For
really
you
tired.
monsters.
Probably not doing.
I'm so
the whole
tired.
thing, yeah, but I'm also just like, to me, I don't really. It doesn't really matter about the workouts because they're like, I'm like, you're just eating boiled chicken every day. Of course, you're gonna look good.
Yeah.
Like you could do 10 sit-ups.
Yeah, I
when
just
you're
don't
eating
want to.
bo-
I can't live like that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
what I wanna
never
say to
looked at
most
bread in
fitness
your
influencers,
life.
Like, I knew how to make rice and chicken and put it away to eat throughout the week.
I don't want to do.
I'm depressed.
Yeah.
So there's no
I-
chance I'm getting out of bed to reheat my boiled chicken
My
and rice.
chicken.
Boiled chicken, right,
Sorry,
fuck,
I need to
chill.
feel something. I need a
know.
thrill.
I know.
Oh
I
my
need
God.
the
Give me a
serotonin of a
reason.
chip.
of a chip.
Just
Oh my God, people who've like, I'm like, they've never even looked at bread.
No, and I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. But I have looked at bread, and if you told me I couldn't look at bread anymore,
No.
I remember back in the day reading like a profile about Tom Brady and Giselle and like what they eat, which was
Oh,
crazy.
that was
it's
crazy.
insane.
And they were like, when they want a treat, they'll have a strawberry. I
never-
was like, absolutely not.
He's never had coffee. He doesn't eat
He's never had
nightshades.
coffee.
He doesn't. He's not. He's
Coffee.
He's a machine. And but the worst part is like results. He
Yeah.
played till he was
I know that's the thing is
way
I'm like,
too old to play
Well,
football.
and the
And you're like,
results
oh,
is
God.
a divorce. So
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's
it
it.
resulted
were
in
eating-
a lot.
they were eating all
Maybe
that.
he should have had coffee and then gone to sleep and fucking enjoyed his life. Anyway, speaking of divorces, let's
wow,
get
that's
into
a
the
great segue.
discourse.
That's a
yeah,
great
let's
segue.
get into the
Ooh, what happened? Who-
Millie's always a great segue person.
I am a great segue person.
a great
You know, the guy who
seguer.
invented Segway died driving off a cliff on a Segway.
Oh shit, segways are dangerous
Yeah.
too.
Wow.
Interesting fact.
The mall cops at my local mall were on segways, and it made the
Segway, you chase me down?
I know it made everyone respect them.
Run.
Way
Yeah,
less.
run, dude.
The segways. I don't know how to segue that, but for our discourse today, we're bringing up a conversation that was really popping off on Black Twitter this week, and it all starts with my girl Cardi B,
Cardi
my
B.
Shayla. And that's an internet reference to. We should just do a deep dive into Tyrese one day. Put a pin in the Tyrese discourse.
Yeah, I know nothing.
He's given us a lot of viral moments, but he's also crazy. He shaved his like girlfriend's pussy on Instagram Live. Anyway, but he's
Okay.
also doing a lot.
Doesn't he have a restaurant in his house? Doesn't
I don't
he have
know.
yeah, I think he
He's
does.
like
He has
he's
a
a
hibachi restaurant in his
crazy
house.
person. He's I would say more probably
Or he
than
did. I don't know.
Azalea. Not as okay,
No
yeah,
way.
that's
No way.
But
No
he
way.
just says crazy shit. Anyway, okay. Okay. So it all starts with my girl Cardi B. So as you know, as a fellow Dominican, I love her. And again, Cardi, the thing about Cardi is that she was a social media personality 1st and used social media to launch her rap career. But the way she uses social is so interesting and good. And it's like, she's just like a really good person on
She's
social.
a captivating speaker.
Yeah.
Like when she talks
but the
about
way that
stuff.
she uses it to like
Yes.
get her points across is super whatever. So if you don't know Cardi B's like a given name is Belcalis Marlenis Almanzar, which people say does sound like a Harry Potter spell. Cyphus, formerly Cyphus is her married name, known as Cardi B. So let's just go through her history. In early 2017, Cardi B began dating fellow rapper Offset, who is in Migos. They became engaged on October 27th, 2017. On April 7th, 2018, during her second performance on Saturday Night Live, Cardi B revealed her pregnancy. She was about 6
I love a
months.
pregnancy reveal. I love when
Pregnancy reveal.
Beyonce
Like the
did it.
Beyonce
I
one.
love when Rihanna came out. I love
Yeah,
when they come out pregnant.
Show me that belly.
I love it
Show
every
me that
time.
belly.
So she was 6 months pregnant at the time. On June 25th, 2018, TMZ found a marriage license revealing Cardi B and Offset had actually secretly married in September, 1 month before the public proposal. She later confirmed this on a social media post.
I hated this for her then. Can I say that?
I know.
hated this for her then.
We're getting
Like,
getting
keep
into
going.
it. We're getting into it. This is exactly. Cardi B gave birth to her daughter on July 10th, 2018. In December 2018, she later announced on Instagram that she and Offset had separated, though the pair later reunited. In February 2019, the couple made a public appearance for the Grammys. He accompanied her on stage for an acceptance speech for Best Rap Album. In September 2020, it was reported that Cardi B had filed for divorce from Offset, but the following month, it was revealed that they were back together. In June 2021, Cardi B revealed she was pregnant with her second child, a boy. She gave birth to her son on September 4th, 2021. On the 5th anniversary of her marriage, Cardi B announced she was planning her official wedding. In December 2023, Cardi shared via Instagram that she had been, quote, single for a minute, confirming that she and Offset were no longer together. However, as of March 2024, the current status of their marriage became unclear as they were still working together, with Offset having directed a music video for Cardi. Then finally, on July 2024, Cardi officially filed for divorce from Offset, and she announced her third pregnancy the day after.
I know.
She gave birth to her third child, a daughter, on September 7th, 2024. So why are we talking about this? That's the background, right?
The third child is also Offset's?
Yes.
Okay. I just
The
wanted
third
to make
child,
sure.
she has 3 kids. They're on and off again, and anytime they would separate, it would because he was caught cheating.
Yeah,
and this was in my stand up. I put it in my stand up. So basically, he cheated on her with the hookah bar waitress. The hookah bar in Queens.
No.
Cardi B went to that hookah bar, fought her and her sister. She had to go to court for that.
Yeah.
She filed, unfiled, and then like one of these things, like during one of their breaks, very recently, like she literally like pled out and had to pay those girls a lot of money and like whatever, right? Like, and then like on one of their recent like breaks, like I think within the past like few months, he was caught with her. Like the same girl.
Oh, one of the hookah bar girls?
Same girl. He went back.
Damn.
So
This
man. So why are we talking about this in January 2025? Well, again, there's a lot of contentious arguments around his cheating. Again, I make a joke about this in my stand-up, and Cardi went on Twitter Spaces a few days ago and revealed how now that she is definitely putting boundaries down, he is punishing her by neglecting
Of
their
course
shared
he is.
children.
Of course he is.
Shared
Of course
children.
he is.
And she cites how he very publicly. Oh, and this was one of the things. So she's saying like all this shit that he's doing to piss her off. So again, like he's not really engaging with their children now that they're separated, and he very very publicly went and like documented how he went to New York to buy all his kids Christmas gifts, but didn't get Christmas gifts to her kids, but like to the kids that they share. Because Offset has 6 kids with 4 different women.
Okay, I was like, wow.
So he bought the non-Cardi B kids Christmas presents in New York.
Fucked up. That's so fucked up to mess with
kids are gonna
kids.
see like
Yeah.
come on, dude.
And then he also
that's not right.
That's not right. And she also alleges that Offset and his mom were stealing money from her, like secretly or whatever. And
didn't he comment some wild shit too about how she's his baby mama, so no one's gonna want her?
Yeah, he's like, you have 3 kids and like you're like in your 30s. Like
I win or whatever.
I win. That's what he said, right?
Fuck
that's
that.
So
that's when I was like, okay, I haven't been paying attention to this, but fuck that.
Yeah,
he might be going through a lot. I know that he lost a band member, right?
Yeah.
I don't know a person's trauma, but my God, he's acting out.
Nasty.
He's acting out.
This is all gonna lead to it. So again, she alleges that, and then that he won't sign the divorce papers. But one of the biggest revelations is this confession that sparked a conversation. So we're gonna watch the Twitter space.
Ooh,
I'm gonna play
watch
it.
This space.
Yeah, we're gonna watch this Twitter space. 2 minutes of it. I'm gonna definitely play it. But if you're watching it visually, and if you're not, you need to know that Offset does come on the Twitter space halfway through her talking shit. So let's watch, and then I want to hear your reactions, and then we'll talk about the reactions to this. Jesus. Okay.
Messy.
I know,
but it's really funny.
Competitive. So if you believe that I was being competitive, you know what that tells me? That you was competing with me and I didn't even realize it. That just goes to tell me that you was jealous of me. And that's sad because you're supposed to be my fucking partner. And you told me that I was being competitive. And I'm like, wait, so tell me, how was I being competitive? And motherfucker said, when you posted my album, you said I'm next. And I'm like, I wasn't even trying to be competitive. That didn't even cross my mind. So that means that a motherfucker was competing with me. Can you believe that? Can you believe that I had the enemy in my bed all along? I wasn't only competing with these bitches. I was competing with my nigga. And I didn't even fucking know. That's crazy. That's crazy. But you know what? That's fine. Because a motherfucker will never get a bitch like me. Now, he don't gotta worry about that. Because you will never fuck with a bitch on this status. That's why niggas gotta fuck bitches that are below me, that are beneath me. They gotta embarrass me publicly because they were competing with me. They couldn't take me. Now I see that motherfuckers was jealous of me all along. Like that statement right there told me that a motherfucker was hating and jealous of me all along. And I never even really realized that. I never even thought that would be any type of reason. That's all I wanted to say. I'll probably tell you more later. A motherfucker wanted me to crash out. I'm going to crash out. But I'm gonna crash.
The enemy was in my bed.
I know.
All
I had
along.
to.
I was like, oh my God,
stunning.
Beautiful.
To rethink.
I will say, if I may,
go ahead.
That I'd believe her a lot more about him never gonna have her again if she didn't repeatedly let him have her again.
Yeah. I think this time people are saying this time she's really done.
Hope.
I
We all
hope so.
hope.
Ray.
I
We all
hope
She
so.
hope.
does not deserve any of this. She put out enough bangers about this very thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
that like it's like Cardi, I'm having a hard time listening to this song because I know that you end up back with.
Back with
So it's
him.
like now if this is really it, like let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Grab
I
your stuff,
said-
let's go.
I said, like, you know, she's not going to do this past her. But I think that, you know, there's a lot of conversations that came up. But I was curious to, like, I was curious to hear from, you know, we're all strong women who are successful. Like Cardi B is a successful rapper. It's a male-dominated field. Successful sports broadcaster, male-dominated field. Successful podcasters, comedians. Like, you know, and I'm like out here dating, so it's like I encounter this, and I feel like a lot of women, not just other women, you know what I mean, like, are having these conversations of like, this is exactly what I felt about my ex, or like I knew that he was secretly jealous, or like it's so hard when people view competition. So I was like curious about that aspect, and then yeah, in terms of like she needs to like be done with it for sure.
I mean, I hope that
I
she's
hope,
definitely
like,
done.
I
But
love you.
you have a fiance.
Yeah,
correct?
I do. He's
he
a
in the
comedian.
Well, there we
Oh,
go.
there
we
But
go.
it's like, you know, I guess is your fiance jealous of you? No.
Say it now.
Is he jealous? But like I imagine you have to deal with crazy jealousy in the sports world from other people sometimes.
Oh, I mean, I think like one of the biggest things I wanted to work on before I like announced myself as a fully formed person was like jealousy. Because I remember
Yeah.
it was always the thing that made me feel the most bad, like twice. Jealousy never served me. There was
Yeah.
never like a side of it that was like, well, this is why I do it. It would always be like, no, I'm jealous because I don't have, and then now I also feel bad.
Yeah.
So it's like it was something I wanted to fix really early. And so I feel like I've done a lot of work and still continue to do that work
Yeah.
to make sure I'm like when I if I have like something negative to say about somebody, I always double check to be like, am I just being
Yeah.
jealous? And sometimes I think being a hater is like the safe form of jealousy. Is if like you really just want to hate on something and somebody like you need somewhere to put that energy. And I totally love that. But I feel like I don't know, it's like jealousy is like a tough, and I'm trying to think of it in the context of my relationship. So I'm like, normally I think in old relationships, jealousy would have made me think of like other women.
Yeah.
But in the context of this, like jealousy, I think what works for Dan and I is that we are in very similar things, but that are not the exact same.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not also a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, and I've seen it play out a bunch of times
Yeah.
of like stand-up comics dating stand-up comics, and like that being a difficult thing to manage of like when someone's doing well and then like bringing that person along or not, and like how does this work? And so like that's a very difficult thing for people that are both successful in the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I can see being difficult.
And
But it's,
obviously, like Offset is a very successful rapper,
Yeah, but
but
he
Cardi
was-
is a different. Cardi B, I feel like, is a different.
she's much more
level
famous
of-
than him on her own.
But
Yeah.
also, it was not like that when they first got together.
Yeah.
She was less famous when they first got together.
27, you said 20.
17, that's
17?
like when Bodak Yellow like just
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out,
yeah.
whatever. And her, I feel like, which is what a lot of people are saying, as her star started to rise, he was publicly cheating, doing all this stuff,
Yeah.
trying to embarrass her to bring her
Yeah.
and humble her. And that is also a thing of like,
Look
why he
out
keeps-
for that. Women.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Look
Like
out
why he
for
keeps
that.
trying to get her pregnant to like
Because
keep her in the
it's-
house.
Yeah, and like the first time it hit me, this was an old relationship, not the relationship I'm in now, but I was in a relationship with like a very controlling, manipulative guy. And the thing about that is you don't notice right away because you are
don't.
being controlled and manipulated.
Yeah.
And also like it's like the frog in boiling water.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like it just turns up, and then one day somebody points it out to you, and then all of a sudden everything looks covered in shit, and you're just
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, ew! When did this get like this?" It was like,
Yeah.
it's been like that the whole time. But this guy, the first time, the first thing I noticed when I went back and re-examined that relationship, every time I had something to do the next day, and this was when I was on my come up. Every time I had something to do the next day, and I suck at waking up in the morning on my own, he would keep me up all night with a fight. We would fight all
Wow.
night.
That's
and
a
then I would get
strategy.
like 2 hours of sleep, and I'd have to go to my thing, and I'd be tired all day, and I'd be like feeling guilty and bad, and
Wow.
like checking my phone to be like, am I gonna come home to my stuff outside? It was very dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like not focused.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's
And
his
it's
point.
like when somebody pointed out to me, like, oh, you're not the first person that's happened to. That's a thing that they do to fuck with you.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh, ew.
Yeah, to try to throw you off your game because that's like what they have. I mean, it's funny because that is the Star is A Star is Born. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Is that it's like a guy who used to be is in the waning part of his career, starts dating a woman who's on the come up, and he can't fucking handle it.
Yep.
And it is making me think that they should do like a hip hop version of Star is Born.
Absolutely. I mean, that's
Like, I was like, they've done all the old timey ones. We've got the Lady Gaga. I'm like, they should do a 2 rappers version of Star is Born. That would actually be really interesting.
And I mean, that's like also like a criticism too of like female rappers. It's not as good, or it's like, because that's the thing too, is like not only is the male character's like career waning, but he like really judges like, oh, you're doing corny shit. Like,
Yeah. Oh, you're doing
way-
pop.
you're doing pop, you're doing whatever. Like, this is not as good as my stuff. When it's like, it's all whatever.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Like, love yourself.
Yeah.
God forbid.
I
Love
remember
yourself so I don't have to do all the work.
Well,
I remember a relationship in my 20s with a guy who was like, it was kind of the first time I was like seriously dating another comedy person. And like, I remember in my mind, this guy was older than me too. And in my mind, I was so like, oh my God, we're going to be a comedy couple and we're both going to be like funny together and we're going to do shows together and it's going to be awesome and we're going to like do all this stuff. And then as soon as like, and this is such small potatoes, but like as soon as I got on like a house team at UCB and he didn't, the level of like anger and jealousy that he became so much meaner and the relationship became so toxic the moment that like I met and then kind of got a little ahead of where he was at. And I was so confused because I was like, but I thought we wanted to do this comedy couple thing. And it's like, no, he wanted a cheerleader.
yeah, that's
And as
so
soon as
true.
you moved forward from like cheerleader to like player or whatever to sports metaphor.
Yeah,
I got it. I got it.
it.
That's my thing.
Cheerleading is a sport, at least. Cheerleading is a
True,
sport.
True. Listen, I watched that. We watched those.
We watch
documentaries.
Cheers.
But
Just as
yeah,
much
it was
disgusting sex
So funny.
trafficking.
know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway,
put a pin
sorry,
in that.
Put a pin in that.
but yeah, as soon as it was like I got anything that he hadn't gotten yet, or even like got to the same level where we would have to like respect each other as peers, there was intense animosity and I like didn't understand. And that's when it started to become really nasty and he was like not responding and breaking up and getting back together and all this stuff. And I would be like, what is going on? And it's like, oh, he's using that. He knows that he can like dominate your life in this way. Like he can mess with your life in this way and take you down a peg by making you be like, why aren't you texting me? And all this stuff.
I definitely like. I'm kind of in that thing. I mean, I've definitely had like haters, but it's even interesting to like be trying to start something with someone and get encountered, get tastes of that already. I mean, just in general, like point blank period, I'll be like talking to a guy, getting to know a guy, and I'm like, yeah, I do comedy, like I've been doing it for years, and they're like, oh, well, why don't you send me your set? Like I can give you notes.
Ooh.
And I'm like,
Ooh,
why
what?
the fuck
Who
would I want
asked you?
Yeah, I'm like, why the fuck
Who
would I want to
asked
give
you?
I've been doing this for 10, 12, 13 years. You're a waiter. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that, obviously, but I'm just like, you don't have this expertise. And even if you did, I don't want like
Right.
what?
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, it's like these little things of like, oh, well, how many things, like it's this intimidation that, you know, we're still facing and we're still not free, and for all the things, whatever, like, and even the most feminist, whatever guys have a complex of that.
Yeah.
And again, like, even if, and it's crazy, I guess I get encountered because I do find it attractive to like find someone who's in a different field and stuff. And then when I feel that jealousy for something, I'm like, you haven't even worked for this.
Yeah.
You didn't even want this. You didn't even know you wanted this
Yeah.
until you saw me have it, and you assume that it's easy because what? I'm
'Cause I
a
did it.
woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's the other thing too that I know you've talked to me about people of you being like, oh, I'm a comedian. They're like, I've always wanted to do that. Like, I could
Maybe
do
I'll try.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah, maybe I'll get into that. Or like, oh, I should have a podcast too. And it's like, well, it's actually
really
I've actually
hard.
seen this
Fucking
a lot.
hard.
Oh,
Really
it's a lot of
hard.
work.
It's a very
Like-
saturated market, okay? We're
Yeah.
not launching. My podcast is the last one they're letting launch. Like,
Yeah,
illegal
yeah.
Oh, after
today.
casuals, then it's done.
No more new
no
podcasts.
more casuals.
That's what they told
no
me.
more podcasts.
That's what they told me.
And like it's really hard, and you have to like make videos and have the dumbest fucking people comment.
And then they get rid of CapCut, and you're like, what do
What
you
are
want
we-
me to
I was
do?
using that. I was using
needed
that.
And then, like you said, they'll try to find other ways to dominate you, like, and other ways to fuck with you that is not even on. And you're like, I'm not even thinking about this, you know?
They're like, I'm gonna get back with the hookah bar girl that you fought. And
Yeah.
you had to-
Or I'm just
Jesus.
never gonna go down on you. And
Yeah.
you're like,
I do
excuse
wanna say-
me, it's over.
I do feel like I should and have to say there is love to be found,
Yes.
and there is support to be found. I am
Yes.
now, my fiance now is this is just my wins are his wins. Like
Yeah.
he roots for them. There's like if something goes wrong for me and I'm like really stressed about something, and if it's something that he knows he can help fix, he'll just like do it and be like, it's together. It's us.
That's
This
what
is
we're
what it
looking
is.
for.
It's us. We're working. Like I want him to be his best and he wants me to be my best. And like that's what it's supposed to look and feel.
What if
Yeah.
Cardi B took your man? I'm
Honestly, I'd get it.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be like, that's
Well,
fine.
I
That's
guess-
totally
I
fine.
guess that rocks.
Can
for
I
both of
watch?
them.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
can I watch?
Like,
I
well,
know, no, it's
honestly,
Cardi
he
B,
didn't
not
like doing it
Ariana.
to wet ass pussy, so don't let him tell you that he did. He doesn't
Oh,
like. That's what I
wow.
would say to Cardi B
Oh,
if she was
okay.
taking my man.
Wow.
Like,
So
he
there
turns
is
you off.
oppression in the house.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, so again, like, you know, that was just kind of the discourse and
Yeah.
just something that, you know, I mean, we all want better for Cardi B.
Yeah,
and
we
like,
do,
but,
girl.
but again, like the reason why this resonated is because it's not just something that happens to, you know, the biggest stars. It's something, again, that women who have their own house or own their own business or do something like they are encountering. And some can say that maybe the politics of this country has shifted a certain way as a reaction to
I don't know.
women's like thing, like
could be,
climbing
maybe.
status. Who knows?
I've seen some evidence of that.
I need somebody to connect.
Yeah,
the
I'd be like, I gotta
strings.
think
don't
about it a
know.
little more, but I think you're onto something with that.
Maybe.
But yes, I just feel like, you know, that was just an interesting conversation that was happening this week.
Yeah,
That I feel like it is resonating with, you know,
resonating
some
with
past
the
experiences.
larger.
Oh, and also to tie it in, you know, I've never watched The Hills. Like, I've never seen anything. But the way that Spencer Pratt is wearing his wife's merch, promoting that album, and then he got on TikTok and was like, because Fox News, like, kind of made fun of Heidi Montag for saying that they're house poor, which is a real thing, where it's like
Yeah.
a lot of people,
Have their money
especially
tied up in
now,
their house, sure.
Yeah.
put
sure.
everything into their house
Sure.
and they lost it, so now
Yeah.
they're poor, and everyone was making fun of them, and Heidi and he's like, you made my wife upset, how dare you. I'm like, see, we all need a Spencer Pratt.
so
Let's
funny.
also we could pump the maybe brakes
Yeah.
on that. I did watch
Spencer
Hills.
I see, I
I
don't
know.
know.
I'm like,
I
that's
don't
the thing
know.
is, I'm like,
don't
Spencer
know.
Pratt. It's very funny for Spencer Pratt to be in a wife guy era right now.
Maybe
because
he's changed and grown.
His original vibe was
was not that.
Okay,
It was
okay.
not that.
No,
Okay, so
Spencer
he
was like the
And,
demon
but listen,
of the show.
you do have to leave space for people to grow and change over the course of their
Yeah.
career. That man's been through things,
And they've been
through things as
together
a
for a
couple,
long
and they're
time.
still together, and they still are together. And so maybe I'll leave space for
We'll
him to
leave
have
space for
changed.
that,
but
but it
let
was
me
bad.
just.
Yeah.
But I'm
but-
like,
okay.
now he's doing what we need Cardi to have, but maybe
Yes.
we just got. Cardi needs okay. This is my thing, and before we move
Yeah.
on, Cardi B needs a Russell Wilson,
Okay.
a really corny,
okay.
really successful
Yeah.
sports star. So now I'm gonna ask you, with your sports knowledge,
Sure.
any league, NFL, NBA, hockey, whatever, who could be Cardi B's Russell Wilson?
Wow.
And it could
Oh
be
my
like even
God.
dweeby, whatever. Like, let's have fun with it. Because you have the sports knowledge.
But here's the thing: I don't have the knowledge of their relationships.
Whatever.
Okay, so
And I feel like
we'll
you could
say
be super-
assuming single.
I was gonna say because Russell Wilson really does paint a perfect picture of like a corny.
But I don't even know if he was single when they got, because he was with that white girl. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But whatever. But I don't know if there was cheating, but like he
Oh.
did start off married in the NFL.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't like, so things happen. Accidents happen every day. That's what I
What are you
say.
gonna do?
Yeah.
That's like
Sierra,
Cardi B.
Sierra.
It's
Like,
like
you
Cardi
can't
B
even
took
get
my
mad.
boyfriend. It's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's,
like, you can't even get that.
what are you
toxic.
gonna? I can't compete with that. That's.
But who's the Russell Wilson that you want
Oh.
to see match with Cardi B?
God, this is too. If I like Cardi B too much to do this off top and try to name a name because I think if I got it wrong, I would think about it all day.
But just
ruin. At least you give me something else to think about today. I appreciate. This will be my thought exercise.
Okay. Well, email us back when
when we post the episode, comments on in the Instagram
or email us
and we'll add it.
We'll add it because I feel like you'd have a good answer, and I feel like we can get something happen.
Yeah, I think that a sports star is a great place for Cardi to go because I think that
it's worked for Taylor.
It's worked for Taylor in a beautiful
Travis
way.
Kelce in a way that
it worked for both of them. Taylor seems very happy. He was saying a bunch of stuff about being happy. I do think that those are two pop star and athlete. It does bring that thing of you're both excelling but in completely different fields, but you can understand the elements of fame that are crazy and having crazy fans. There are certain things you can commiserate on, but you're not directly competitive with each other.
I would say if Cardi B got with a baseball player, they might be competitive on who has a bigger ass. I feel like baseball players all have huge.
Baseball players would be good for her too. I think baseball is the vibe.
Yeah. Baseball is a vibe.
Yeah.
Baseball is a vibe. Okay. We have to get to our last segment.
Okay.
Our final segment of every week is called Grasshole of the Week. This is where we name the person who needs to log off the most. Okay. Spencer Pratt certainly would have been a grasshole at one point if the internet was where it was now.
Yeah.
Now he's actually in a grass hero mode where he's posting quite well. But okay, this week's grasshole.
Okay.
So here's what I'll say is that sometimes the universe truly shines on us here at Go Touch Grass on Grass Nation because, we're a topical podcast. Sometimes we can tailor what we're going to chat about to our guests. Sometimes we're not as able to. But I read this story knowing that you were coming on, and I said, this is perfect.
Yeah.
We have received the perfect grasshole for
because
our
we don't
Nolan
always
episode.
have sports stories.
We don't always. Okay. So first, before I get into it, so I know you cover football. What is your relationship to football?
Soccer.
Or soccer, as we say here in the United States.
Yeah, this is why they want us off
now
TikTok.
that we're back on TikTok.
I love soccer. I think I came to it late in life. I was sort of welcomed in. My friend Grant Wall, who has since passed away and who we miss very much, was a very welcoming soccer fan who was like, come on in. It's okay that you don't know it or like it yet. You will. It's a great sport. And so I love soccer. It's not top of my list.
Yeah.
You don't need to know. The level of knowledge that's needed for this story is minimal.
Yeah.
But we are talking today. Our grasshole is a man named Juan Bernabe. He works for the Italian soccer club Lazio, and he was fired this week for, drumroll please, posting photos of his penis implant surgery to social media.
Tell me a little bit more, but not too much more.
Okay, so let's back it up.
I want to know everything.
A little bit more.
I actually want to know everything.
And we're gonna get everything except I will not be showing.
Thank you. Okay, that's exactly what I was trying to avoid.
We'll see a glimpse that is censored, but we're not gonna watch
social media.
Yeah. Okay, so let's
by
back
accident.
it up. No. so not by accident. It's gonna shock you to your core.
Wait, I'm sorry. Italian?
So
I don't know about shock me to my core.
It's an Italian team. He is Spanish.
Oh.
He has worked for this team. For Lazio is the name of the team. So he's not on the team. He is the team's Falconer because the team's mascot is an eagle. Her name is Olympia. And for 15 years, Juan Bernabe has been the guy who keeps Olympia and it's the Lazio is
Birdman. It's the team's
He's the team's Birdman.
Yeah.
He is her keeper, and then also so it's Rome's soccer club, and an eagle is a symbol of Rome. So every game he'll come out with Olympia, and then she flies around the stadium, and then she comes back, and that's been his job for 15 years.
Sure,
but not anymore. I will note that he has gotten in trouble once before in 2021 when he was filmed cheering for the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini and defended himself by saying he thinks he did great things.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
different. How was that resolved?
They were just don't say that stuff about Mussolini again.
Don't do that more.
don't say it again.
No more of that.
But this was the final straw, it seems. So he underwent a penis implant surgery
Nice.
last Monday. So 1 week from when
Fresh.
we're recording. It's a fresh.
Still got stitches.
Yes. And basically, immediately after it was done, posted to Instagram story. He posted, this is a photo of him and the doctor doing a thumbs up. So
Let me see if it's a man whose penis I want to see.
it's
No,
it's
you
not.
don't.
I promise you, it's not. And
Italian,
this
you
is
don't know my
also
taste.
You're Italian? Well,
don't
yeah.
know.
I'm like, well, then maybe you will.
Sometimes we like them weathered like
Yeah.
this guy's also like the team doctor too.
Wow,
that's
so
kind of
whoa.
involved.
Wait. The doctor doing it, not the Falconer.
Yeah,
the
no,
Falconer
the
is
team
not also the
doctor
team
was
doctor.
the doctor that did the penis implant.
Interesting.
Oh, wait,
then
is
he
it
also-
paid for by the team?
Yes.
You know they got good insurance.
I
in
don't
Europe.
think that the
For a-
penis implant is paid for by the team, but like the doctor is it's unclear if the doctor has been fired as a result of this, because like at one point the team was like, we also fired their doctor, but then someone else was like, well, he was actually like a contract doctor who can't really be fired by the team, but like they're just probably not going to bring him back because he did the penis implant surgery. Then
Okay.
this guy also did, I guess, a live like video, and in the video, this is censored again. You can see him nude in the bed
Oh my god!
after having received.
You censored out the dick.
I found a censored version for to protect my
Safe.
peace and
That's
my
great.
safety.
Okay.
Millie always wants to see the dick.
Well, I'm just like,
That's a T-shirt.
I don't want to always see a dick.
Yeah,
I
the
want to
dick.
see.
Yeah.
It's like
the dick in question.
hmm
Because, okay, for me, I'm like, I'm on hair transplant talk to see
Yeah.
if the
You go
hair
to Turkey, you
transplants.
know all about
look-
it. Yeah.
I want
My
to
fiance
see.
has them, by the way. If I full disclose.
Wow, Turkey A.
Turkey A.
that's right.
He went to
When did
Istanbul.
they change that, by the way? When did we start spelling it that way?
Turkey A. I feel
I
like
think-
that's like the
I think
real
that's their
cultural
preferred.
We just were
spelling.
being
And then
rude
we
about
got
it that
back,
whole
Japan
time.
is like Nihon in
Yeah.
Japanese, but you know,
But
whatever.
we don't do that.
Yeah, but whatever. But
We talk
I
about
want to
it.
see the results. So I'm
Sure.
like, if
Yeah,
is the
did it make his
penis-
dick look bigger?
Yeah, I
Is
know.
it something we
God,
have to
I'm-
start looking for?
Because
They
listen,
go under the muscle or over the muscle. These are all.
yeah,
my
I mean that's
questions.
what I for
Some info.
science
True.
really.
Okay, I mean for science,
And also, I'm
absolutely.
like, I might have some people.
Is
that,
it one of those like pump?
That I don't know. I think that
See,
it's
and
just
this
an
is
Where's the
you
implant.
tech
out.
at? I haven't revisited.
I don't know
the
if he
tech in
said
a
that.
while.
I think it's just an implant to make it. He said that he got it to increase his sexual performance. He said
Sure.
all of this on live, like immediately after doing the surgery. To which
I'm
I'm like, you gotta
curious.
recover. You gotta recover from that. But he truly, on Monday, he receives the penis implant. By Monday afternoon, he's posted all of this. He's gone on his Instagram. He's been like, I got it to increase my sexual
He's trying
performance.
he's trying to get a sponsorship.
He's trying to,
Maybe-
like to
maybe.
stay hard, like to get the blood rushing.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, he was very happy with the results and all of it. I do just want to read this directly from an AP article that was published Tuesday. So this is the day
Okay.
after all of this has gone
Associated
down.
Press.
That's a
Associated
trustworthy
Press.
source.
Lazio has fired the man who handled the Italian soccer club's Eagle mascot after he posted photos and videos online of his own prosthetic penis.
Great.
Falconer Juan Barnabe shared the images on his private social media accounts after undergoing surgery for a penile implant, which he said was for non-medical reasons.
Great.
Oh.
This is all pleasure, no business.
Yeah. Well,
Barnabe also gave
Italian.
an interview on the controversial radio show. So he gets the penis implant, he posts like 5 stories and goes on the radio.
listen.
This is a
Why
low
is he doing
downtime.
press for his penis?
Okay.
What's happening?
In defense,
No.
I'm like, I have questions about the procedure. I'm like, is it effective? Is it dangerous? Like, I feel like there are people who, like, there's a girl on TikTok who has a skin condition I've never fucking heard of, who went to Thailand and got like this crazy Eastern medicine and it's like working. And like, she gets a lot of questions about it. And I'm like, he could have done all of this without actually showing the dick. And like, I would have been curious about it.
Right.
You know, it's like
To
it's
be
like
on Instagram Live with your new dick.
Yeah,
And
that's
for me
crazy.
to still walk away from this not knowing how your new dick works.
Yeah.
That's
is
my
weird.
thing is
That's-
I do feel like the content was created quite quickly.
Yes.
Because it's that day. I mean, this is a low downtime surgery. I'm surprised. I would think penile implant, you're down for
I would
at
think that
least a
first
day.
couple boners hurt. I would think the
Yeah.
first
I
couple
feel like-
boners you get are like, ah, fuck.
Okay, but maybe it's like
Like your
the
skin
grandpa in Willy Wonka who like didn't walk until they got the golden
And then he
ticket
just jumps
and
out of bed
suddenly
and
gets up
dances.
and does a dance.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's
And
It
that's what
seems
I
like
want
it
in a
is.
penis. I want a penis to be like the grandpa in Willy Wonka.
well, you know what? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's a few guys that need to go visit Istanbul, and I'm like, maybe there's a few guys that need to go to Italy
Here's the
and
thing
see
is
what's up.
curiosity, am I curious? Obviously, but I do think that if you are like very visibly associated with this team, you should probably know that doing this
was a bad idea.
Negative press.
We've known for a long time that you cannot post everything on the internet once you have a job. Most people write in their bio, these views do not reflect those of my employer.
This penis does not reflect my employer.
It's crazy.
This penis does not reflect Olympia.
I'm looking for the dick.
Yeah,
on my phone, I'm looking for it. I'm looking. I want to see
I'm
it.
like, oh my God, she's going through an emergency.
Yeah, no.
My mom's calling.
If you find it and you want to look at it,
well, show me because I do want to see it.
Okay, here's what he did say on the radio.
Got kicked off of Instagram because I did share
Drake's dick. You DM'd it.
Yeah.
Falconer is a cool thing to be objectively.
It is cool. For 15 years,
that's big dick energy.
It is
exactly. I don't like thinking,
but it's not hard dick energy. Apparently.
I don't like thinking that a Falconer can be soft and small.
He said in his radio interview that he felt very proud of what he had done, and that he feels more masculine as a result.
I love that.
And that and then here's from the AP. The Serie A club clearly did not feel the same, as it fired the Spaniard shortly after. I was like, okay.
Not fired the Spaniard.
I know. I was like, it's weird they could just say him. But this is the statement that the club issued. We're shocked to see the photographic images and video, Mr. Juan Bernabe.
But we did see them.
But we watched.
We're shocked to see them, but we saw them.
The WhatsApp for that team was going crazy.
Group chat's going off right now.
And to read the statements that accompanied them, Lazio announces that it has stopped with immediate effect all relationships with this person, given the seriousness of his behavior. Then it's like unclear if the doctor has been fired, but there is an update beyond this.
Okay.
So he gets fired. He surgery Monday, posts Monday, fired by the end of Monday. Went that fast.
OnlyFans Tuesday.
OnlyFans Tuesday. Tuesday, we're getting the first round of articles about this. By Wednesday of last week, he had barricaded himself in his apartment on the training grounds. So I guess he lives with Olympia, the eagle, on the training grounds.
No, that was
And he had barricaded
the bird home.
I think he lives with the bird.
He lives on the there's probably corporate housing.
The bird takes him home.
They live together. They cohabit.
They're bird.
But I'm like, if your fucking apartment is based on your job, don't post schlong.
I mean, that's wild behavior for a guy who lives at work.
Right. So then I guess he had barricaded himself in the apartment. At this point, he's like, well, I'm also recovering from the penis implant surgery. And I'm like, true, but also you did a lot. Like, what is the level of recovery required for the penis implant surgery? Because you've been active. But he was basically barricading himself in his room, saying that he was not demanding to speak to club president Claudio Lotito.
That's Italian.
Claudio is
let me get a titty implant. This is why they hate Americans. I want you to know that. That's why no one can take us seriously.
Claudio has said very clearly that he's not interested in bringing Bernabe back. He kind of made this funny statement that was like, he's like, I'm a man of God and a man of the church.
Oh, God.
Like, why would I will never be with this penis implant man.
Oh, because he's playing God by getting a surgery that makes his dick hard.
Yeah, only God gets to say his dick is big.
That's
God decides whose dick is
God tells you what your dick looks like, and you accept that.
You are born with the dick God gave you.
That's right. He worked hard on that, regardless of what it looks like.
Confession on TikTok.
But okay, here's what I'll say: is all the articles that I found about this were from 4 days ago, and I have not seen any indication that he is unbarricaded from the apartment.
And would they update us? I'd hope.
Yeah, that's what I was like, can I find him? Is he still in there? And I looked him up on Twitter. That's where I found all the weird images. A lot of the posts were in Italian, so maybe someone was like, he's out. But as far as I can tell, he's still in there trying to figure this out. So Juan Bernabe, for the crime of posting your penis implant surgery with a swiftness that was unbelievable.
Unreal.
When you knew it would jeopardize your job, and then barricading yourself in your room as a result of being fired.
With a bird?
That's the other thing.
Olympia.
So that's
is that a hostage?
So this is an unfortunate situation with the Olympia thing, is that as a result of all of this, Olympia is not going to be able to fly because the teams are currently, they're like in whatever they're playing right now. And Olympia, you can't just find another Falconer
Oh,
like
wow,
you know what I mean?
So he got her fired too. That's fucked
yeah,
up.
or like they
You
have to
should've
find
thought
someone else
about
who can
that,
work with
yeah.
Olympia. I know, so he might
exactly like the Cardi B thing.
exactly. He tried
Exactly,
to bring
he was
Olympia
jealous.
Out here
down.
showing his
She
dick
was
around.
soaring high, and he wanted to
Now
bring
she
her back to
loses her
earth.
job.
Yeah,
Now
and he's
she's
like talking about I'm
barricaded
more
in an apartment.
masculine. Exactly. So now
It all
Olympia.
goes back to the, it's all full circle.
Wow. So he might have gotten that doctor fired and Olympia fired.
That's crazy.
For
This man
what?
is reckless for a dick that wasn't even that he's basically telling us was bad to begin with.
Yeah.
So
Check out my now good, once bad dick.
Yeah.
and so for all of these crimes, we must say Juan Bernabe. Go touch grass. And that's our episode. Katie, you were so
You guys, this was so fun. Thank you for having
Oh
me.
Thank you for
my
having
God.
us.
Yeah,
Being here with us.
for having us. We had each other. We
You guys
had
have to
each
go.
other.
My next guest is coming in.
Yeah,
Can you guys go?
Okay.
Okay, but speaking of, tell all of our
Oh,
listeners, where
casuals.
can they find your podcast? Where can they find you? Follow you, all the good stuff.
You can find Casuals wherever you listen to podcasts. You've heard that before. We're not on YouTube yet, but we will get that figured out maybe
It took us a
eventually.
year to get on YouTube.
Yeah, we're going to do like clips and stuff there and clips on social media, but it's Casuals. We're on social media as well. It's a Sirius XM podcast, but you do not have to, it doesn't happen on Sirius XM. So you don't have to have a subscription or anything like that. But that's where we are. And it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, our new episodes, twice a week.
Nice. That
Sounds
twice a
exhausting
week.
for a lady who has not been working. So we'll
Yeah,
see
Yeah, get back
how
into
that
it.
goes.
Get back into the
that's
grind.
a schedule.
Here we go.
All right, guys. Well, you can find us on all the apps, banned, unbanned, wherever they stand at Go Touch Grass Pod. You can find me on TikTok still at Elise Navidad. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you so much, President Trump. Take that out. No. No, clip it. Clip that specifically.
In and clip.
And you can find me on Instagram at Pandalise.
Yes, you can find me at Millie_Tamarez on Instagram and TikTok. Which one's more cursed? Who knows? You can find me on the even more cursed Twitter/X at Millie Tamarez. AKA lactose intolerant. You can find me on Red Note apparently. Lemon A. I was
went on Red
scared.
Note.
I was scared for a second. I went on Red Note.
Figure it out.
I was on Red Note. I'm like, listen, they're gonna have my fucking information no matter what. And yeah, until next time.
Go touch grass.
That was a headgum podcast.